Hi folks, this video is practice in reading first order logic. If I asked you which of these 6 sentences is a logical truth, could you figure it out? If that's difficult, it might be because you have a hard time understanding what they mean in the first place, because you can't figure out whether they're logically true if you can't even parse them or understand the significance of them. So if you'd like to, pause your videos now and see if you can figure out which of these actually count as logical truths or not. Okay, that was your last chance to figure it out. What we're going to do is we're going to tackle this problem in 2 steps. The first thing I want you to do is see if you can read these sentences in FOL. Can you figure out what they mean? So I've given you some possible interpretations, and I want you to try to match the 6 sentences in FOL with these 6 possibilities. 2 of them are sort of wild cards. I tried to make this a little harder, not by not giving you all of the answers. So see if you can match which of these actually are translated in some of these forms and which of them don't have any translations to pair with. Obviously, I'm interpreting these in the most obvious way, D for being a dog and B for being police. So pause your videos now and see if you can figure out how to read each of these into English. Okay, that was your last chance to pause your videos. Here's the answers. So let's start with the top one. What this says is, for all objects X, if X is a dog, then X is a police dog. Or another way of saying it is, all dogs have to be police dogs. So that's why that's paired with this one down here. Number 2, this did not have any translation over on the other side. This was none of the above. What this says is, every object is such that it is police and a dog. So this says everything is a police dog. How about number 3? What this says is there are some dogs that are not police dogs. So some objects X have the property D, and they don't have the property of being P and D. So that's just like saying some dogs are not police dogs. All right, how about number 4? This one had no analogous translation. This was none of the above. What this says is everything is either a dog or a police dog. That's what this says in English. It's sort of an odd sentence, but that's how to read that universal quantifier outside the disjunction. Number 5, what this says is everything that has property P and D also has property D. So in our English interpretation, everything that's a police dog is also a dog, or in other words, all police dogs are dogs. Lastly, the final one just says that some police dogs are not dogs. There exists some objects such that it's a dog and police, and it's not a dog. Now that you have a way of making sense of these in English, hopefully it'll be easier to read them in FOL. So once we see their English counterparts, now can you perform the job of interpreting them and figuring out which one is logically true or not? So which of these, now that you can understand all of them, which of them are logically true? That's your question. Okay, maybe you pause your videos again. Hopefully you figured out. The answer is there's just one of them that's logically true. All police dogs are dogs. Because you can't give me something that's a police dog, which isn't also a dog. That's necessarily true. It's impossible to have a counterexample to that, or to make that thing false. So my recommendation is, if you're having trouble recognizing which of these sentences in FOL is logically true or not, translate them into English. Come up with an intuitive understanding of the predicates, an intuitive interpretation, like dogs and police, and then that will help you make sense of which ones are guaranteed to be true. Now let's see if you've really got it. Now I'm going to give you a domain of quantification. So I'm already interpreting D to mean is a dog and P to mean is police, like we said before. My domain is all the animals on Earth. Now I want you to tell me which of these things is contingently true or not on that interpretation and domain. Okay, I really mean you to pause your videos to try to figure this out. Again, what I recommend is to think about them in English. Think about their translations. Because some dogs are not police dogs. Well, that's got to be true. We know not every dog on Earth is a police dog. So that thing is contingently true. The one in red here. None of the other ones are contingently true. Everything is a dog or a police dog. Well, that's not true of all the animals on Earth. What about the cats? Or everything is a police dog. This is also not true. So the rest of these have some fatal flaw. They're not true. But the third one, this one in red, is a contingent truth. And then this one in blue is a logical truth. So my recommendation here is, when you're confronted with a difficult, complex sentence in FOL, think about an interpretation of it. Think about what those predicates might mean. That will help you parse it better. And then that will help you also have a clue to its logical structure and its logical properties, like whether it's necessarily true or necessarily false, or contingently true or not. Okay, thanks.